Well, hey there, how you doing today? It's Simeon here. Thanks for coming back to my YouTube channel. Um, you know, a little over 10 years ago, I attended something called the Rocky Mountain UFO Conference in Laramie, Wyoming, at the university there. And it was a several-day event with lots of speakers on different topics. And one thing that was really memorable about that conference was there was a guy there named Dr. Stephen Greer who offered to lead us on a sky watch on that evening of one of the nights of the conference. And he said that we would be able to do a meditation ahead of time and then go out that night and possibly see an extraterrestrial vehicle. Well, being the naturally skeptical person that I was at the time and still am to some extent, you know, I thought I'd have to just see what was going on there. And about 80 people signed up. We met in the afternoon, went to the big auditorium, did a meditation where we visualized seeing an extraterrestrial craft and communicating with the occupants and asked them to meet us later that evening in a specific location north of Laramie. Well, we went out later that evening north of Laramie. There was a huge thunderstorm. We were all out there in this field in the middle of nowhere, a very beautiful location. And right after that thunderstorm, this little light appeared in the sky overhead. It moved very slowly, completely silently, and it started getting a little brighter. And all of a sudden, this big beam of light came down from this object. I kind of estimated it was maybe about a mile up from us, though it's really hard to say. But very blue, and when the light came down, it was just the bluest color I'd ever seen in the sky. There were about 80 witnesses to this. It lasted maybe about 10 seconds, and then the craft was gone, or whatever it was. And to this day, I've always wondered, what that object was. I can't prove it was an extraterrestrial vehicle. I've done some remote viewing sessions on it, and the session kind of lent itself to point in that direction. But still, I don't know for certain. But I do know that's what he told us would happen, is that we would see some sort of vehicle, and we did. And so ever since then, I've been interested in the work of Dr. Stephen Greer. He organized this disclosure event, the Disclosure Project, at the National Press Club in Washington, D.C. in 2001. And it was just a very impressive event with a lot of witnesses from government, aerospace industries, NASA, and so forth. And he recently put this video on YouTube, and I think you should watch it, because if you've heard people talk about extraterrestrials, there is so much we don't know. And it's a topic we're going to find out more about, I'm sure, over the next coming years. But the worst thing is to express ideas and attitudes about a subject that you don't know very much about. And a lot of what we hear about ETs, in my view, just sounds like complete disinformation. Very racist attitudes towards extraterrestrials. Basically ideas that the ones that look like us are the good ones, and the ones that don't look like us are the bad ones. And that's really the basic idea behind racism, is that if it looks like you, it's good, and if it doesn't look like you, it's bad. And it's the silliest thing I ever heard. And you hear a lot of people talking about extraterrestrials, the idea of extraterrestrials, in that way. Now, I don't think that there's anyone that we publicly know about who's definitively an official on this topic. If these people exist, they're in some sort of special access program within the United Nations or other government, and they're not talking to us at the moment. So you have to say that no one really knows, definitively too much about this topic. We're all speculating here. There is one particular book I like that I've read. It's called Earth and Alien Enterprise by Timothy Good, the fellow that wrote the book Above Top Secret from the 1980s, someone who got a lot of us interested in the subject quite a while ago. And I like that book. It has a lot of different cases, very well documented, of people meeting alleged extraterrestrials. And it's worth taking a look at. But for the most part, I think there's a lot we don't know about this topic. I think we should keep an open mind. And I think that one of the worst things we could do is to project our own narrow ideas of what's good and what's bad onto something that we know very little about. We need to get more information about it. We need to have public discussions about it, but we don't need to be imposing very limiting ideas, racist ideas onto the idea of extraterrestrials. And that's why I think that the video above with Dr. Stephen Greer talking about this that he was put online recently, I think is worth taking a look at. Okay, that's it for now. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll talk to you again soon. Take care, and bye.